Right. Hello and welcome, FPL managers, and welcome to Gone Football Fantasy. And of course, this is the zonal weakness for game week 12. Well, we have Bethany back in the studio again. Welcome, Bethany.
Hi.
How was your game week?
It was okay actually. In the end, it started really well because I captained Salah, so that was like a really nice start. And then I didn't own any of the right midfielders, like the cheap midfielders. So I had McNeil,
Okay.
who I thought, yay, that'd be great. But no, it was like Rodgers and Semenyo and Johnson, who I'd benched. That all got the points, so I didn't get any points there. And then I had like 4 players in the last match. So Flecken was just cruel, going from like 12 points down to 4 points in the last like 4 minutes. I did have Robinson, so I got a few points there, but like I also had good strikers from the teams, and I didn't have and got no points for either of them. So yeah, a bit disappointing. I ended on a green finally, but only got 100k or something. So I think I've gone from like 1.1 million back into about 850k, something like that. So it's a green, and I'm back inside the 1 million, but not amazing considering I got the captain right.
Well, at least you got the green. A lot of people didn't get the green. Well, mine went well. I would say I can't complain under the circumstances. I think I had a very good game week. I'm back in the 300,000 again, so it's good. Yeah, Salah captain, and of course I had this thing, Rodgers, and I had Davis, so that's good. Yeah, finally he delivered after all the chances that he kept on creating without actually getting any sort of return. So yeah, it was good in the end, and yeah, I'm pretty happy with the outcome. 59, I think, was what I got. So yeah, glad. Right. So let's get into the zonal weakness, of course. And of course, this is the zonal weakness for game week 11. And before we get started, please do give us a follow, a like, and a subscribe. And then all the stats that you see are taken from the Fantasy Football Scout members area. If you're interested in the Fantasy Football Scout membership, please click in the link in the description below, and you'd get 40% discount. Yeah. So without much waiting, without much hesitation, just please go ahead. And yeah. Right. So this is the table that it looks like. A lot of white there. I don't know if I should call it a sea of white or a cloud of white. I don't know how to describe it, but yeah, over to you, Bethany, with that one.
Cool. So we start off with Wolves, and there's loads of white in there, which is really nice because I think a lot of us have moved on their assets. Most of us were probably disappointed last week because your Kunas and 𝐻𝐸𝐻𝐸𝐻 didn't get any points. They didn't return, but the data looks good for them again this week. The zonal weakness suggests and it's really nice that obviously like I watched that game and they were still getting into positions. Kuna should have had about 3 assists. 𝐻𝐸𝐻𝐸𝐻 could have got some goals. Like, even though they didn't return, it's not disappointing. I don't think at all. They were still putting on a good performance. They were still in the right position. So I think Wolves' assets are definitely something to move on if you're not already there. I really like them. It's nice to see Johnson in there. Disappointing that he was on my bench this week, but I'll be playing him this time. And he's the standout option there from the zonal weakness alongside Porro down the left flank. So if you've got either of those, definitely still play them. Not looking as good for some of the other assets, especially kind of Son, Maddison. They're kind of ranked 15th and 18th. But Solanke still do all right, ranked 8th down the centre. So next up, we're on to Man United. And for once, I'm not going to be as negative. Finally, there's some change. We've obviously got Ten Hag's gone, and we have seen some difference in United already, how they've been playing. So I'm not against their assets this week.
I'm so glad to hear that.
Against Leicester. If I was going for anyone, I think personally it would be Bruno. He's just, he's going to start every week. He's not got that competition. He's captain. Like, he's got options to get you assists and goals, and he'll get bonus points as well because he's involved in the game. So Bruno would be the way I'd go. If you want someone cheap, though, I still quite like Garnacho. Those would be my favourite too. But yes, not against them anymore. They've got that new manager bounce, and we'll see that. And they might get a double new manager bounce move across. Next up, we've got Bournemouth, and again, Bournemouth have been looking so good. They obviously got the win last week against City. I really like all their players, but I think Semenyo is definitely a standout here. I might be moving for him this week, which was a surprise. I was going to roll, but if Palmer is out, Semenyo is the one I'm going for instead. But yeah, I really like Semenyo. He obviously got the goal against City, and I think he had about 4 shots or something even against City. So he is their talisman. I like him a lot. But interesting, even like Kirkers, obviously in defence has had quite a lot of attacking potential there. Got something last week as well. I think he got the assist for Semenyo's goal. Yeah, I like Kirkers as well if you're looking for a cheap defence. Next up, we've got Fulham, and again, slightly disappointing last week for their assets. That those of us who had Jimenez, Smith Rowe didn't get anything from the game. But Fulham are still looking really good, still very attacking. I think they're unlucky. And obviously the Zonal looks nice for them this week. So I think any of those assets, keep them, play them, definitely. Next up, we've got Chelsea, and there are rumours at the moment that Palmer is out. So I think that's just something that we need to keep an eye on, both if you're a Palmer owner, if you're looking to bring him in, or also just the fact that without Palmer, I think Chelsea are a much weaker team. So I wouldn't be wanting to bring in somebody like Jackson either, even if Palmer's out. Obviously, it's a tough game anyway this week against Arsenal. So I think probably just avoid Chelsea players this week and watch out for news. Make sure you've got a bench if you do have Palmer. Keep an eye on that. Next up, we've got Nottingham Forest, and Wood is there again, and no doubt he will return again for owners. Honestly, they've been, I don't even feel like I want to say lucky. I think like he's just been on good form. So well deserved to those owners. I still like him if you're thinking about bringing him forward. I don't think fixture really makes much difference to him. So obviously he looks good this week. He conceded, but even going forward, even though the fixtures are maybe a bit mixed, I think he could return in any of them. And finally we have Newcastle. Again, Gordon and Isaac looked good and got the returns last week. Isaac with the goal, Gordon with the assist. I think Isaac's the one I would go for, just because of penalties. He obviously he's more likely the one to be getting the goals. So you're going to get more points there. Doesn't look great this week though. Forest are a good defence, so I think I'd probably hold off another week for them. But they're definitely back in consideration, Newcastle now, I think.
Right. Do you think the ship has sailed for Wood?
No, I don't. I sold him.
Really?
I had him at the beginning of the season, got a few points out of him, really nice, and I sold him because I worried that the ship had sailed, and that ship has not gone anywhere. I think, like, I don't think anything like fixtures. He's fixture proof now, and he doesn't seem to need loads of chances. He's pretty clinical. And he's playing in a good team as well. Forest are a good team. I think they're third, aren't they, at the moment or something? So fixture doesn't matter when you're third. you've got there because you've beaten some tough teams. I still like Wood. I mean, it's tricky. There's a few different forward options all around that price, but he'd definitely be in the mix for me.
Right. Okay. Let's move to the next one then. And here it is. Not much here, but over to you, Bethany.
Yeah, a lot less white here. So first up, we've got Man City, obviously, and none of their players are standing out there. So I think definitely if you've got them, maybe you want to play them. I'm actually currently benching Haaland this week. He's planning on leaving my team next week. But currently
benching Haaland? Oh, wow. Okay.
City are not in form. We've seen that both midweek. We saw it against Bournemouth. They're not in form. they're not the City that we know. They are still missing your Rodris. Obviously, De Bruyne was on the bench but didn't come on last week. Yeah, I'm happy to go without City players at the moment, and I think the table suggests that's okay. That you shouldn't be massively worried. Obviously, they can always get something, but I don't think you need to be worried about Hall. So I think it's
fair point.
Safe to bench. Next up, we've got Liverpool, and it's Diaz and Gakpo that are the ones that are starting. Suggest they could get returns this week. Obviously, the tricky thing with them is that which one, who's going to start, we don't quite know. So again, unfortunately, they're probably a miss for me. Interesting, obviously, Salah here ranked 19th for chances conceded down the left flank. So as an owner, that's making me reconsider my thoughts of captaining him this week. Salah's Salah, and he can get anything in his game. But yeah, maybe not one to captain this week from the data. Then we've got Aston Villa, and again, they're playing Liverpool, who've been really good defensively this season. So I think probably either time to sell someone like Watkins for a cheaper forward. Maybe time to bench Rodgers if you've got better options elsewhere. But I wouldn't be buying them this week. Arsenal, similarly, not buying them at the moment. They're a bit like City, not really sure what's going on with them. Conceding goals, couldn't score. And against Chelsea, it's not looking like there's particularly anyone standing out this week. So while I might want to go back to Arsenal in a few weeks' time when their fixtures get better, it's an avoid for me for now. Then we've got Brentford, and again, nobody's standing out here. Again, Bournemouth have done better than I think people maybe would have expected defensively. So your best option here is Visser with headed chances. But yeah, one of them standing out. So if you've got one, feel free to play one, but I wouldn't be rushing to buy anybody from Brentford this week. Then we've got Southampton, and again, I think obviously there's a nice matchup. Wolves is an easy game for anyone defensively. Generally, they're not being great, but I would hope for potentially a Wolves clean sheet against Southampton. So I wouldn't be going buying Southampton players, even if the zonal weakness suggests you could.
Right.
Leicester, again, similarly. I mean, Vardy has been a bit like Wood, like he's just been quite consistent this season, even at his age. But I think there's better cheap forwards that we've got. No one standing out there. And I think it's time to sell Delap if you've got Delap from Ipswich. We're not sure whether he starts anymore. He missed a game. And yeah, looks like a tough matchup this week for them. So they're an avoid or a sell for me.
Right. Okay. Let's quickly move to the team of the week then, and let's see who makes it. There you go.
I think
anyone we missed from you?
Yeah, really interesting team of the week. I think this week with you, like we've got none of the big hitters in there. There's no Haalands, no Palmers, no Sakas, no Salah. Like a really interesting team of the week. But it shows why I'm benching Haaland, because I think those middle players, your Semenyo, your Johnsons. All of those kind of players can do really well. So I like the team this week. I like it's very differential. Like there's nobody's actual real team is going to look like this. We're all going to have some of those kind of big names in there too. But I really like it. And like we've said before, I think some of the those kind of Woods or Johnsons, Semenyos, I feel like they're quite fixture proof. They've come from good teams or good attacking teams, seem to be able to get goals against whoever they're playing. So I think they're not just nice for this week, but going forward too. And yeah, if you've still got Robinson like me, he's definitely a play this week.
Well, interesting is that, captaincy is going to be a big factor then if the team looks like this, really, to be honest. Yeah, so yeah, choose your captain wisely this week. But yeah, thanks, Bethany. I think this has been a pretty interesting and a comprehensive overview, to be honest, and a very good analysis at the same time. Thank you so much, audience, for joining and tuning in, and we really appreciate the number of views that we are getting right now. It's increasing day by day, which is more encouraging signs. But yeah, we'll be back again after the international break. But until then, take care. Bye bye.